Our next singer is Bryson. Bryson sang
Mm-hmm.
Without You. Now, come on, y'all. Y'all have got to give cred to the original artist of these songs. Yes, Mariah Carey brought this song to the masses, but this was a Harry
Yeah.
Nilsson early 70s song that Mariah redid. I said, Bryson, you make me sick. You, here you are in the lives. There's no more production. And you're
No.
singing this in the Mariah key. I said, whatever. I said, what a voice. I said, maybe I need to
Whatever.
hear this in my good ears because I felt again that there were times, because we know Bryson has a holler and a half, there were times where the
Mm-hmm.
band was like just so much louder than him. And I just, it made me.
This one
Okay.
was better
All
here
right.
for me.
I said, not sure how I necessarily feel about that ending. I said,
Oh.
it's fireworks. I said, but is it intentional singing? And Bryson, you know what I'm talking about. I just love Bryson so much. And I just gotta take a quick moment, Stephanie. I know we're trying to run. Bryson reminds me of me at that age. And I say this because Stephanie knows that I had I had a voice. I'm old now, but when I was 22, I had a voice with limitless potential. And I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but my voice was very special. And I needed some good coaches and some good teachers and some good mentors along the way over the years. One of them, Stephanie and I know very well, that said to me, James, we know you have the vocal to do anything, but don't give them everything. And that's my biggest concern. And I know you don't agree, but you have to have the type of voice. You have to have the type of voice to understand. And Bryson knows what I'm talking about. That's all I'm going to say. It was ridiculous. It was sensational. Some of the stuff I just didn't care for. It was a little too screamy for me at the end. Stephanie?
When you have this long of a time to sing in these lives, I think that for the 2 verses he was given, which is much more than they usually give him. They usually give him one maybe a chorus, a verse, a bridge, and a chorus. Bryson, I felt like he was very reserved in those verses that he was given, which took a decent amount of time. And the only time that I felt like he just let it go was at the end. And by then I was like, give it to him. These are the lives, baby. These are the lives. You only got one shot. You only got one shot to show these people this is all of my throat and I'm going to give it all away. Now, had he been screaming the entire song, then I would agree. I can't agree in this instance because I thought that he showed really good restraint and storytelling when he should have. And by the back half, it's like, let it go. These coaches were looking at this young man like this. Like they were watching a horse race. That's what it felt like. They looked like they were watching a horse race and they wanted to see how far ahead Bryson was going to go past all the other contestants, to the point where Legend and Buble was slapping hands. Like, watch that boy go. Y'all see him go? Because of your critique of Bryson, I listened to him with a more careful and a stricter ear, to be honest. And I was like, I can't even believe what you did at the back half of that song. Let it go. You missing your graduation to be here? Show them everything that your throat can give. You know why? He might not get this
That's true.
opportunity again. The next week is not promised. It's on America to
Right.
vote him through. And I was like, go for it, and he did. And it would be one thing if he did not execute. He executed. It's
always
brilliant.
done.
Nobody on this show, no other voice on this show can do what
No,
this young man
he
can
has
do.
pound for pound, arguably the strongest voice this season. Arguably the strongest voice this season. I just because he's so ridiculous of a singer, I just don't want him to know. Stephanie, you know that my voice went to another level when I really started to work on the artistry part of my voice with the and got less away from what James can do. And that's where I think and
I saw what he did as
okay.
artistry.
Okay.
You don't.
All right.
That's our difference. I don't think he was doing what he was doing just to do. I think he did it because he could do it and as a part of artistry. If you don't agree, you don't agree, and that's cool. Yeah, but that's how I saw it. That's why I can't agree with what you're saying.
Incredible job nonetheless. I mean, he's ridiculous. He's just, you make me sick, sir. Like, you really just
It's outstanding.